Hi, Casey Hendrickson here with Michiana's Morning News. You know, we continue to follow the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman case, and we've learned a lot this week. In fact, a lot of questions that I personally had on my program got answered. Some things like, for instance, we now know that George Zimmerman only drew his weapon because Trayvon Martin went for the gun after he saw it. Now, that was a question of mine to begin with. You have a stranger following you in the middle of the night, you lose him once, he continues to follow you, you finally confront him, you see a weapon. Do you make a move on the weapon or do you run away? A lot of us are going to answer that question completely different. We've already gone over Florida law many times on the program, and actually both men in this case have a reasonable suspicion of self-defense. So that's something to consider as well. Another thing I want you to factor in is up until the moment where the fight actually starts, the girlfriend of Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman's story is exactly the same. The only question is, did Zimmerman push Trayvon Martin first, maybe sending him to throw the first punch, which would not leave a mark on Martin's body, or did Trayvon Martin strike George Zimmerman, whether it just be because he was angry, nervous, scared, or because he saw that gun? Another thing that I want you to be very careful of, a lot of people who have already decided that they're going to be on George Zimmerman's side without getting the evidence have started posting articles with titles like, "Autopsy confirms Trayvon Martin had drugs in his system. Autopsy also confirms Trayvon Martin on drugs." Things like that. Let's evaluate what those drugs are. Trace amounts of marijuana, which was probably several days old, according to medical examiners. Meanwhile, I'm not seeing any headlines about the psychostimulant drugs that George Zimmerman was on. He was on drugs for not only ADHD, but he was also on drugs for his insomnia, which happened to be the same type of drug that is used to treat anxiety. It can lead to mood swings, paranoia, other things like that. Did that lead to him assuming that Trayvon Martin was a criminal when in fact Trayvon Martin was doing nothing illegal? We don't know, but these are all questions that have to be answered and considered as we go forward to the trial. I'm Casey Hendrickson for Michiana's Morning News right here on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's News Channel.